Everyone laughed when I said I was paying just $78 a month for a Tesla. They said it was clickbait. They said I was lying. Even my own friends told me, there's no way you can own a Tesla for that price. But here's the truth no one talks about. I didn't win a giveaway. I didn't get rich overnight. And I definitely didn't scam anyone. What I did was something most people never think to do, and that's why almost nobody believes this story. 6 months ago, I was driving a beat-up car with a cracked dashboard and a payment that was slowly killing me. Every month felt heavier. Gas prices kept climbing, repairs never stopped, and I was tired of pouring money into something that gave nothing back. One night, while scrolling on my phone, I saw a Tesla glide silently past in a short video. No engine noise, no gas station stops, just clean, smooth movement. I laughed and thought, that's not for people like me. Tesla, in my mind, was for tech guys, influencers, or people who didn't check their bank balance before buying groceries. But curiosity got the better of me. I opened Tesla's website, not because I planned to buy one, but just to prove to myself that it was impossible. I clicked around, looked at prices, and closed the tab, until something caught my eye. Not the car, not the total price, but a small detail almost everyone ignores. That one detail changed everything. Over the next few weeks, I started connecting dots: government incentives, hidden savings, trade-in math, fuel costs, and one mistake most buyers make that silently drains their money every month. I wasn't trying to get a Tesla. I was trying to escape expensive car payments. And somehow, that path led me straight into one. By the end of that month, I signed papers I never thought I'd sign. When I did the final math, I stared at the number in disbelief. $78 per month. Not a lease headline, not a trick, not a, for the first month only, deal. Real, ongoing, mine. The biggest lie about buying a car isn't the price on the website. It's what they don't include when they tell you the monthly payment. Before Tesla, I was spending money in ways I never really noticed. Gas every week, oil changes, random repairs that always showed up at the worst time. I thought my car payment was reasonable until I added everything together. One night, I opened my bank app and went back 3 months. Gas, maintenance, insurance, unexpected fixes. When I totaled it up, my stomach dropped. I wasn't paying one car payment. I was paying 4. That's when I went back to Tesla's site, not to dream, but to calculate. I compared my current costs with what an electric car would actually change. No gas, almost zero maintenance, fewer moving parts. Suddenly, the expensive car didn't look so expensive anymore. But that still didn't explain how I got it down to $78. That came from a mistake most people make when buying cars. They only negotiate one thing. I didn't. I stacked savings. First was my trade-in. My old car wasn't special, but I didn't accept the first number they showed me. I checked multiple valuations, waited, and used timing to my advantage. That alone dropped the monthly cost more than I expected. Second was incentives. This is where people lose. Government credits, local programs, and utility rebates don't show up clearly unless you actively search for them. Some apply up front, some apply later. Most buyers don't stack them properly, or at all. I did. Third was interest. This part hurt. I realized how much money I had been burning on interest alone. By changing how I financed, not just what I financed, I wiped out a massive chunk of the monthly payment without changing the car. And then came the moment that locked everything in. I ran the numbers again, slowly, line by line. Gas savings replaced a payment. Maintenance disappeared. Credits reduced the real price. The trade-in covered what most people finance. When I finished, the monthly number didn't make sense at first. I refreshed the page. Same number. $78. That's when it hit me. Tesla wasn't the expensive choice. My old car was. But the story doesn't end there. The day I picked up the Tesla, I expected excitement. What I didn't expect was silence. No engine, no vibration, no smell of gas, just a smooth screen lighting up and the car moving like it already knew where I wanted to go. For the first few minutes, I wasn't even smiling. I was confused. How is this mine? How am I paying less than before? At the first red light, I glanced at the dashboard out of habit, waiting for engine noise, waiting for something familiar. Nothing. That's when it clicked. I had been trained my entire life to think cheap now is smart, and expensive later is normal. Gas every week, normal. Repairs every few months, normal. Rising costs you can't control, normal. But a car that removes those costs. That sounds too good to be true, so people don't even try. Over the next few days, something strange happened. Friends started asking questions. Not polite questions, defensive ones. Okay, but what's the catch? Batteries are expensive. Wait until something breaks. They weren't attacking me. They were protecting their beliefs. Because if my payment was real, it meant something uncomfortable. They might be overpaying without realizing it. Then I noticed something else. Every time I passed a gas station, I felt relief instead of stress. No stopping. No prices flashing higher every week. No mental math. The car wasn't saving me money someday. It was saving me money every single day. But here's the part nobody expects. The $78 wasn't even the best part. About 3 weeks after owning the Tesla, I noticed something strange. My bank balance wasn't dropping the way it used to. At first, I thought I was just being more careful with money. But when I looked closer, it wasn't discipline, it was absence. Costs that used to quietly drain my account were simply gone. No gas charges, no surprise maintenance, no emergency car fund transfers. That's when I decided to track everything. Every dollar I wasn't spending went into a simple notes app. Gas savings alone added up faster than I expected. Week after week, the total kept climbing. Then came the part no one warned me about. Charging. Everyone assumes electricity is expensive. It's not, especially if you're smart about when and where you charge. Off-peak hours. Free chargers at places I already visited. Even a few public stations that cost less than a coffee. Some weeks, my fuel cost was almost zero. That's when I did something most people never do. I compared my real monthly savings against the $78 payment. And the math flipped. The money I wasn't spending was covering the payment, and then some. In practical terms, it felt like the Tesla was paying itself off while I drove it. But the biggest shift wasn't financial. It was psychological. I stopped fearing my car. No, what if it breaks? No, what if prices rise again? No anxiety every time a warning light flickered. For the first time, my car felt predictable. Then someone asked me a simple question that changed how I saw everything. Are you going to keep it, or sell it later? That's when I realized something wild. This wasn't just a car. It was an asset I understood. By the time people stopped calling it fake, they started asking something else. Can anyone do this, or was it just luck? That's the question that matters. The truth is, $78 a month wasn't magic. It wasn't a loophole that disappears overnight. It was the result of stacking small, boring decisions that most people skip because they don't look exciting. Here's what people get wrong about Teslas, and car buying in general. They focus on the price of the car, not the price of ownership. They chase the lowest payment without understanding where that number actually comes from. And they treat cars like expenses instead of systems. I didn't buy a Tesla to look rich. I bought it to stop bleeding money. Between incentives, trade-in timing, fuel savings, and smarter financing, the numbers lined up in a way that shocked even me. And no, it won't be exactly $78 for everyone. Markets change, incentives shift, personal situations differ, but the principle is repeatable. When you stop asking, how much is the car? And start asking, how much is this car costing me every month of my life? Everything changes. Today, I still drive the same Tesla. Same quiet startup. Same feeling every time I pass a gas station. And every month when the payment hits, I smile. Not because it's low, but because I know why it's low. That knowledge is the real upgrade. So if you ever hear someone say, there's no way you can own a Tesla for $78 a month, just smile. Because the people who don't believe it are usually the ones paying the most.